Okay, um, just they were, I guess, at some point permitted to, like, they came from families that were permitted to, or they had, I'm trying to explain, but they're playing with my head. They're shutting down parts of my head so I can't explain, or my brain. Um, their families were responsible, or they had some kind of permission to the weapon that they're using to talk into my head. And instead, they formulated this whole, like, these people who were given these permissions decided to come together, overthrow, at that time, Egypt's powers, okay, with the weapon that they're using to talk into my head. Like, and they're playing with my head to overthrow the government, take over. They stole money from Egypt, and anyways, they got behind this weapon, discovered that they could launder money and be one of the wealthiest people, or some of the wealthiest people on the planet. Created this terrorist organization. Long story short, we're here now in America, and they're trying to basically seal the not to destroy all the records produced with the weapon that they're using to talk into my head. And take off with the money. But here is the sick shit. Like, at this point, I have discovered everything there is to know about, well, not everything. I take that back, because every day is it's a learning experience with these psychopaths. And they're so fucking dumb. And that's a fucking promise. So they're so fucking dumb that their script to murdering me, like, they have a script, and they have to go by this script in order to murder me and get away with it, is to make me look angry, okay? Make me look angry and like I have something to investigate, make me go hang out with drug addicts and felons. This is what they're attempting to do. Okay? This is the bottom line. After all the murders they committed to stay behind the weapon that they're using, and all of the wars over this, and overthrowing the government, and this is what it boils down to. Some stupid little fucking dumbass script, okay, that basically makes it sound like, or quote unquote, makes it sound like their voice is coming from outside, because the weapon is voice activated. And so that the terrorists can't just comfortably talk when they want to. The government wants it to be obvious that they're talking in my head. So they're like constantly screaming in my head, trying to make it sound like voices coming outside, trying to get me to argue, shutting down parts of my brain. When they're talking in my head, it basically cues the weapon as to what areas of my brain to shut down. And I don't know if they're reading other, they basically 2 or 3 of them will attack my brain at the same time, and the one that's investigating, or whoever is attacking my brain, is picking up the other one's signal and not my brain activity. So because they're just like, they're doing all this weird stuff with my brain, dude, with my actual brain. And trying to disguise that they're murdering me. Screaming all day, trying to make it sound like their voice is coming from outside, and anyways, long story short, I've discovered the gist of it. Every day that comes by, I'm like, I find new ways to clear the record. And little things dawn on me, like, oh, those bitches No wonder they're screaming so hard and they want me so distracted. The psycho bitches don't want me paying attention while I'm driving to the traffic around me to make it clear that no one's stalking me. Because they want to make it sound like their voice is coming from outside. So if the weapon reads like, okay, here's 8ZGT188 is a blue Hyundai, drove right past me. Here's a Tacoma red 02842T. How could they possibly be screaming, okay, the whole way while I'm driving if they're passing me up? There's no way I'd be able to hear them. And there's no indication that they're stalking me if they're passing me up. So as I'm driving now, I'm like, okay, let me make it clear, like, people are just going about their way, like just scanning to make it clear that I'm not being stalked. It's a terrorist. There are terrorists hacked. They're talking in my head, literally talking inside my fucking head. So every day it's a learning experience, and I'm learning more and more. Okay, so I got the gist of it. They're trying to sound like they're investigating something, and they have all these little tactics and ways to distract you so that the weapon can't distinguish that it's not coming from outside, that it's internal in someone's head. Because the minute it starts to identify that the voices that I'm hearing are in my head, it flags it. Because the terrorist, if in fact I hear voices in my head, they have to go and immediately they have to conclude their investigation. They can't. It is not ethical to use this war weapon to investigate someone with a mental disorder. In that case, I need medical attention, not an investigation. And furthermore, the records are they're great data to show, like, hey, this is where schizophrenia comes from. This is where it stems from. This is how this disease comes, or this is how this is where this comes from, or this is where. So it's like, and these terrorists, okay, that's the argument by the U.S. government to say this is unethical. We should be, instead of investigating people with handicaps, we should be medically treating them. And the minute these people that are so-called, the terrorists talking in my head, so-called, come across someone who is saying they have schizophrenia, and now it's become evident that they're schizophrenic, they have to come forward and prove themselves. Otherwise, they're suspects to a fucking crime. Because it's very hard to believe it's a coincidence that someone's schizophrenic and being investigated by a telepathy, mind control, mind reading war weapon. So the records get flagged. And when they get flagged, these bitches, what it seems like to me, because they won't fuck off, is like, this is like do or die type shit. Like, all of them will get kicked off the system and then further be investigated in the same way. And after what they've displayed this weapon can do, I highly doubt those bitches want that for themselves. And so I'm sitting here like, and the bitches are like, you're really fucking dead. Like, the women are really fucking psycho murderers. Like, they're not, because, and this is exactly why I'm like, you know what, the government has a point when they find criminals that are hacking into a system. Like, that person isn't a murderer. That person is 100% a fucking professional that needs to be respected as one, and not and partnered up with, and not somebody that is out to murder, because they have a lot of they could share a wealth of knowledge. The bitches talking in my head, on the other hand, instead of like and then furthermore, the people that are considered criminals, and we've heard it time and time again. Let me complete my thought. They sign contracts with the FBI, with the CIA, with the U.S. government, in whatever capacity that they fit in. The terrorists talking, and they don't go and say, "Oh, fuck you, you're exposing me, I'm gonna fucking murder you." Like, the terrorists talking in my fucking head are really fucking nutso, dude. Fucking nuts on another fucking level. And then the bitches have their fucking nerve to say, while I'm being investigated by this weapon that shuts your fucking brain down from working. Like, Renee, that's all so basic. This is how they talk to me in my head. All that is so basic, sweetheart. Like, bitch, you had 8 years to come up with a plan B, whore. Get the fuck out of my fucking head. And it's like, no can do. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't stop fucking making it clear I hear you in my head, live streaming, and proving that you're a fucking terrorist. Good luck when they fucking investigate you, cocksucking bitch. And that's how I really fucking feel. And I know the government's after them because now I'm like, but this is, this happened, I think it was about 2 years ago when I was listening to a Lauryn Hill song. And I was like, and now I listen to rap songs and I'm not just listening. I'm like, I'm not, a lot of the people that rap to these lyrics, they know the words, but I don't think they actually understand what the fuck what these rappers are actually saying. Like, smoke a joint? What the fuck does that actually fucking mean? And then it's like, and then they're like, Tizik, and Beyonce, like, she covers it up. She says, Tizik. Tizik is the feminine of your ass in Arabic. In one of her songs, I think it's Blow. Tizik, no self-control. Like, about the terrorists. You bitches have no self-control. Basically, you don't have a plan B. Go fuck yourselves. You're about to get investigated the same way. Because they know they're not intellects on a higher capacity that the government needs to fuck with. These bitches don't have a plan B. They can't hack into the records that are produced with the weapon. Like, they're looking for them to do something so fucking, like, extraordinary so that they could fuck with them. But they're not, because they're stupid. Instead, they're going on murder sprees. And the government has made it clear, like, look at us shaking hands with this guy who was so-called a criminal, and now he's one of us. He's partnering up because he's fucking, this fucking fool is a fucking brainiac. And then these bitches, instead, they're instead of, like, trying to find a way to access the records, or trying to shake hands with the right people, or trying to block the weapon so that nobody ever gets hacked in the head again, or so that they can identify, or how about to hack into someone's head without having to ask the government for fucking permission, so they don't get blocked out of the fucking system. And instead, I mean, the bitches are making it's so fucking clear as day. They're fucking stupid fucking trash. They're screaming in my fucking head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They don't want me at work. So my daughter's 16 years old. Like, their agenda with me in particular, look, he's suffocating me. I don't drink, I don't smoke. This is coffee. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. And I used to take phentermine to drop weight. Now there's Wegovy. Thank God I could take Wegovy and drop the weight in like a month. The terrorists talking in my head, they don't They were trying to keep me hooked on phentermine and force me to gain weight so that it would appear that I have methamphetamines in my system when I'm not a drug addict. But they wanted to appear that way. And so anyways, with me, my daughter's 16. She has 2 years till she's 18. For the past 8 years, it's been 8 years, they want to try and prove that I'm a negligent mom. They want to make it look like they're investigating me because I'm a negligent mom, which I never was. I was calling the cops. My kids were literally at the house, and I would call the cops every single day. I called them over probably 400 times. And because these terrorists were torturing me to fucking death. And but I thought it was my neighbors. Of course, they didn't tell me at first. I was renting at the time. Now my mom bought a condo and she's like, you can live in it. But I didn't have good credit either. My mom actually put her name on the lease when I was renting. And these bitches were screaming in my head, trying so hard to get us evicted because I was screaming, thinking it was my neighbors, so they could fuck up my mom's credit. Because they know how the housing market's working, because these bitches are responsible for the markets crashing. They're the reason why when the 2% interest rates came, they went down, why the HOA shot up to fucking $600-700. Like, even better.
Just a minute. You've forgotten your phone.
So they knew that the interest rates were going to drop. They didn't want my mom to purchase homes for me and my sisters. They don't want us to have shit. They literally want to throw each and every one of us out on the street. They're trying to commit genocide. They want to murder every single one of my family members with this weapon that they're using to talk inside my head. They already murdered my dad. He had 5 heart attacks. He had 23 stents in his heart. He had 3 herniated discs. I mean, and he worked till the day he died. And not only that, he paid off all our cars. And then this is the even crazier part. If there are any open liens while these bitches are conducting an investigation and we happen to die in the midst of their investigation while there are open liens, okay? The government has the right to investigate the weapon, the records, because these bitches want entitlements to the interest that was earned on the money. And they want to say we didn't get our money. They wanted to say we don't. I guess she's actually right. She's like, well, why wouldn't they investigate it if you paid it off? Which is actually a fact, and they're talking in my head right now. Possibly that is the case. But then again, it could be one more generation, and they have my mom passes away. Me and my sisters spread the money between us. We can't pay off our mortgages. We get kicked out. Nobody has any assets, and then we're all stuck in foreclosure. Maybe that's what they're after. Maybe there's another foreclosure or market crash getting ready to happen. I don't know. But these bitches, anyways, they knew that the interest rates were going to drop. And they didn't want my mom to buy so that I was out on the street. Me and my sisters. On top of the fact, okay, so and then they're playing with my head. They're playing with my head. They're shutting down parts of my brain so I can't communicate. And so I can't remember. And they're suffocating me. So I lose track of what I'm saying. And anyways, I'm getting back to my daughter. She's 16. So for the past 8 years, they've been trying to make it look like I'm this negligent mom, which isn't the. I called the cops into my house. They came in. They knew I wasn't on drugs. They knew I wasn't drinking. They knew I wasn't, they knew. And then my dad had passed away, so they were like, Renee, we think you need medical attention, sweetheart. No records of me, no DUIs, no drug offenses, no criminal record, nothing. So it was like, honey, you need to go seek medical attention. And that's when the terrorists were like, we're in your head, we're in your head, we're in your fucking head, bitch. Because at that point, like I said, if it's considered if I'm considered medically handicapped or I'm incapacitated, what's the word? Incapacitated, I don't know, whatever. Basically, I'm handicapped. They can't investigate me, and they don't want any medical records so that the government can say, look, Renee has medical records. She's on Medi-Cal. She's on Medi-Cal. Here are her medical records. We have entitlements to them, and here she is saying here she is not just is she coming in voluntarily. The police department is saying that, hey, she needs the crisis assessment team to do a psychiatric evaluation on her. And so they didn't want that. They wanted to look. So it's like, okay, no, wait. We didn't get what we want. Let's try to steer her in this direction. And now it's like, it's just blatantly like shocking, electrocuting me with the weapon and literally causing me strokes. Literally shutting my brain down. Like, because I started, I'm bawling. I bawl every day over my daughter. Like, she needs me. And they're murdering me. And they're hurting me. And go fucking kill yourself. Like, our kids are better than yours. Our kids are more important than yours. We're more important than you. We're more of this. We're more of that. We're this. In my head. They're suffocating me. They do this in the middle of the night so I can't sleep, and they'll do it for 3, 4, 5 hours at a time. If I go to the office right now, they're going to ask me what's wrong, if I'm okay. And I want to keep staying in front of my family because the terrorists are becoming so much more anxious about the records, because now I'm knowing how to prove it, that their attacks are even more aggressive and they're more obvious. Like, my hair fell out 98, 99%, fell out. Everybody noticed. Now I'm coughing, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I can jog like it's not an issue. Although they suffocate me while I'm jogging. But if they weren't squeezing my airways, I'd be running just fine. What was I saying? I start coughing just randomly like this. And then my mom was like, you should go see a pulmonologist. You should go do this. People are, now it's going to become very obvious. They're stretching the skin of my forehead. They aged me tremendously in a course of 2 years. And then my spinal stenosis went from insignificant to moderate. And they're like, no, this is more serious. You need to actually go see a physical therapist and pain management, because I had to go into emergency twice. so that they could give me pain meds, because the terrorists kept squeezing the muscles around or whatever they were doing to my spine to force the disc to bulge and and it was pushing on my nerves so badly I couldn't stop moving. And I was in so much pain. I was like, Mom, I gotta go. I gotta go to the emergency room. She went with me twice. Now, and then the other night, I was coughing like this. She stayed up with me till 3 o'clock in the morning on the phone, listening to me almost hack up a fucking lung. And then the other day, I couldn't even copy and paste from I was copying and pasting from ChatGPT into my email to send out a professional email to somebody who's reaching out to me for a business, for a loan. Because the terrorists wanted me so badly trafficked out of the office that I was like literally having convulsions. And I ran into my uncle's office because I work with my uncle. And I started bawling. And then on top of the fact they made me so dizzy that they pushed me. They actually pushed me, but it looked like I fell. Okay? And it was like I fell into the computer and the computer fell and I was like, horse! Like I thought I was gonna like fall out. And he came running to me, which is one of my colleagues. And he went and ran and got my uncle, like, Renee needs you. And so, they were like, sit down, put your feet up, stop working so hard. My uncle ended up taking me to urgent care. So the more severe the attacks are, the more obvious it's going to be. Like, I keep telling my family, dude, there's something fucking weird about these voices in my head. I went from never even having a fucking cold, having the thickest hair ever. My memory was sharp. I was talking just fine. I was happy all the time, to like 100%, 360-degree change. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. I'm not in this to prove to anybody that I am or am not schizophrenic. I hear voices in my head. They sound like terrorists. This is my way of, this is it. I want justice. I know there are people that know that they're doing this. I want you to know, and I know you're after them. I am taking every measure possible to set the record straight. I want them sentenced to death. These are Egyptian American Muslim terrorists. They are talking in my fucking head. And the government's waiting for them to do something extraordinary. They know how powerful this weapon is. These bitches better exceed. And mind you, the weapon that they're using was not just one brilliant mind that came and created this. These were so many brilliant minds over years, over decades, over centuries that came together to produce and perfect and create this weapon and a system so tightly woven so that these bitches wouldn't get away with it. Like, why in God's name? And then I guess what they thought was, because I keep trying, I forget sometimes that these bitches think they're super smart. But they're not in Egypt anymore. They're on U.S. turf. and they're playing with the U.S. They're playing their sport, not their fucking little kiddie sport that they were playing in Egypt. They're playing a real fucking. This is a global war sport. And the U.S. government is making it clear, like, they're playing with my head. They're playing with my head. I was gonna say something, and now I can't remember what I was gonna say. The U.S. government is they're playing with my head. They want them to. Oh! That's what I was gonna say. They're playing like the big guy sport. So anyways, what was I gonna say? Because the bitches are playing with my head. I was gonna say, going back to, because they basically rewired my mind right now. I totally took like a left turn. The reason why the bitches, I guess, thought, hey, we have everything at our fingertips. We don't even fucking need them, and who cares if they give us permission? Because I think what they thought was, we're going to. We'll just make our way to investigate everyone and steal. If we find anyone of a brilliant mind, we'll steal their ideas and make it our own. And I don't know if, in fact, if they make more money to advance the weapon, if that entitles them to more securities, or if they themselves are intellects enough to advance it on their own, if that gives them the ability to do so. So they're obviously, there's like a dual like agenda here. It's like, okay, we'll steal people's ideas and launder money. Clear the record, and the world is basically ours, I guess. But like I said, they're not playing. They're not in Egypt anymore. They're here in the U.S. with these fucking super fucking elite, like, IQs, like, so far beyond the norm. And these bitches are trying to do what now? And that are reaching, and that they basically, and I don't know. So here's another thing. I don't know, because these terrorists, I guess that was their idea, was we'll just surveil everybody. So I don't know if the U.S. is like, we have so much more interest in these people than you ever will, claiming that they're you need to investigate them because of a little drug charge. Like, Elon Musk is making these cars. How many people can he fucking investigate this guy? If that's the case. Like, he's a global power. So what? So everybody, he's a god. He can see everybody anytime he feels like it. With this weapon that these terrorists are so-called bragging about using. And these terrorists, apparently, they have to, like, and what it sounds like, whenever they investigate somebody, investigate them, they have to have justifiable and a credible reason. Like, they're married, okay? So they can't just, my ex-husband, before I got married to him, they couldn't just investigate him. We had to get married. So I don't think they're just permitted to investigate anybody. There are laws as to what channels them, what permits them to investigate. And so now it's, oh my gosh, and now I'm starting to think even deeper, like, oh my fucking God, no wonder these bitches are really raping women, impregnating them, deciding who's gonna have kids, deciding who's gonna have miscarriages, deciding who's gonna have abortions, deciding who's gonna do drugs, deciding who's gonna rot out on the street, who's gonna get married to who's gonna do, like, what in fucking God's name are we talking about here? These bitches are sick. Whose kid is going to have a mental handicap? Who's going to have Bell's palsy? Who's going to have a heart attack? Who's going to be blind? Who's going to be deaf? Who's going to have diabetes? That's what these terrorists talking in my head are deciding. They're not contributing to society to improve people's lives. They're calling it population control. It's the terrorists talking in my head that they want to control the number, like who has sex. They want to control. Literally, we're robots, and they just get to sit there and decide who's gonna paint their toes and who's gonna fucking sit there and educate their kids until they find someone smart enough to help their kids succeed. And then in which case, they'll give their kids the credit for that person's intelligence and make their kids a scholar of whatever that is. It's just, dude. This is insane. I want them to fucking die, dude. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. I want them sentenced to fucking death. I want them sentenced to fucking death. I want them sentenced to fucking death. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. I want them sentenced to fucking death. This is schizophrenia. I should be like cartoonish in a way. I see a tree and I'm like, oh, I love that tree. And the voices in my head are like, oh my God, look at the leaves. Like things that you think of subconsciously that make the tree so beautiful to you, but you're not realizing the detail that brought it to your attention. That's how I imagine schizophrenia. They're the subconscious voices that are suppressed by our like generalization of all our thoughts collectively, so that we could just say, wow, that's one fucking gorgeous looking tree. Rather than what they're the details that, like, what is this? And then to block different parts of my brain, what part hears? The part that hears is like, what part of your mind hears? Hearing is different than calculating. So when somebody tells you a mouth problem, first your ear or your mind has to perceive the words it heard to determine that that's a math application that you need to they're playing with my mind to calculate. It's not as if and that's a separate part of your mind. Why is it that different parts of my mind, because of these voices, are being shut down every time I hear them? The government is for damn sure. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I will never fucking stop saying that I hear those bitches in my head. I will never fucking stop saying I hear those bitches in my fucking head. The government wants to review these records to the death. They want these bitches to die. And this is absolutely necessary. This is a detriment to our society. The bitches remain in power as long as they can murder, steal, and murder. I don't know what to do here. Anyways, I'm here at my chiropractor's. I'm waiting to see my chiropractor. And I'm gonna log out. I'll be back on later. I'm up been sentenced to death.